Comedians Bill Maher and Wanda Sykes took some shots at each other during the Golden Globes over the weekend.
Maher criticized some celebrities who wore lapel pins that read, "Be Good," a nod to Renee Good, the woman who was shot and killed last week by an ICE officer. Take a listen to what Bill Maher had to say on the red carpet.
Oh, come on. We're just here for show business today. It was a terrible thing that happened, and it shouldn't have happened. And if they didn't act like such thugs, it wouldn't have had to happen. But I don't need to wear a pin about it.
Now, among the celebrities wearing the pins was actor Mark Ruffalo and comedian Wanda Sykes, who made a jab back at Maher as she was presenting on stage. Let's take a listen.
I'm presenting the award for stand-up comedy on television, but first, I want to give them some love. Bill Maher, you give us so much, but I would love a little less. Just try less.
Meantime, the investigation into Good's death continues. The Trump administration is reportedly sending roughly 1,000 more immigration officers to Minnesota. That's in addition to the 2,000 other officers and agents that are already there.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem insisted on Sunday that the extra forces are to keep the officers that are already there safe.
We're sending more officers today and tomorrow. They'll arrive. There'll be hundreds more, and in order to allow our ICE and our Border Patrol individuals that are working in Minneapolis to do so safely. Unfortunately, when you don't have the partnership of the city, Mayor Fry and Governor Walz have been very clear that they're going to continue their rhetoric. They're going to continue to put criminals and corrupt illegal aliens above the people that live in that city and in that state. They've said they're not going to help us, so we'll make sure that we protect our officers, but we also follow through on making sure these criminals are brought to justice.
I'm just really glad Hollywood's getting involved. That's going to make a huge and profound difference.
Okay, let's laugh about it before we get
Mark
serious.
Ruffalo and Wanda Sykes weighing in. I think that's just about handled the issue entirely. Don't you agree?
Well, you know what? I think that people are layered people. So I think that you can be good, just like both of us can love politics, but we also like a bunch of other stuff, right? Like I love to travel, right? And so I really enjoy that. And I like to write about it. And I like cameras. And so this is all things. They can love to do their jobs as comedians and entertainers, but also be aware there's a lot going on in the world and feel tone deaf if they don't even acknowledge it. Now, we did go way too far. The pendulum swung all the way across the room with every single award speech a couple of years ago being like a virtue signaling. It almost felt like, are you sure you feel this way or do you need to say this? Like, just say, you can say your speech, you got 2 minutes, they're playing the music on you and you're going on a rampage about who's wrong.
I'm with Ricky Gervais when he gave that was at the Golden Globes, I think, or it was the Emmys, I can't remember. I think it was the Golden Globes where he said, get your award, say thank you, and get off stage. None of you know anything about anything. You spend less time in school than Greta Thunberg. Go away.
But
My favorite speech ever.
I also think Wanda Sykes is, just like she's allowed to have her opinion, she's echoing the voice of many people that's like, okay, Bill Maher, like he literally, double dutch the game where you jump in and the ropes are moving. He jumps.
Jump rope game.
Yes, he inserts himself into every conversation, like all the way in, and just is a contrarian.
They inserted him into the conversation. They asked him.
No, he's a contrarian on his show and Club Random podcast. Every single week we have something from Bill Maher being a contrarian on purpose. And so if you want to play that game, then people are going to come at you. Don't make a face when another comedian is coming at you. You insert yourself in every conversation, and then you say that you're left liberal or left leaning at least. And it's like, well, you're contradicting every single thing. Like, what do we have to work with? What does anybody have to work with?
It was just gratuitous and unfunny. And if it was the reverse, if Bill Maher had been up there and said, Wanda Sykes, we'd like to hear a little less from you. Everybody like, look, he's racist. It was racist to say that a black woman should speak less. We know that's true. But I don't have any problem with what he said. People I do have problems with what they said. Kristi Noem has done exactly, I would say, what she's accused Democrats of doing, which is prejudged this situation. Now I saw some, commentary from conservatives, and I think it's important to bring this point up. This isn't exactly my point, but saying that one of the reasons there have been these confrontations between ICE and protesters and people and dangerous situations, someone dying very bad, the conservatives say, well, keep in mind that the local police in places like Minneapolis are not helping. The sanctuary city policy, the government doesn't want to help deport any illegal immigrants. And so ICE has to come in and do this, they're saying, dangerous work. And so if there was more cooperation between local law enforcement and the state and the immigration goals of the administration, which were which are affirmed by public opinion and what people voted for, then you wouldn't necessarily find yourselves in these situations.
Well, I think cooperation also could be on this back end portion where federal investigators have wholly shut out local leadership and out of the investigation process, which would automatically make local leadership suspicious, because why should we go off of an agency that's so closely attached to Kristi Noem and the president, who have already decisively, forcibly made their perspective known on national television? I think that people are concerned with what would seem like a one-sided investigation. So I think there's a lot that people are complaining about. I also think if we go all the way back to this immigration policy that you talk about, that a lot of people have supported, it's because Biden, it can be agreed that he dropped the ball on immigration. A lot of people on both sides of the aisle said he did not handle it well. Now we're here, but a lot of people who did support President Trump moving forward with immigration policy did not want to see an American citizen killed in the process. And so once that happens, and we've already passed the point where we rushed to judgment, both sides were inflamed, now we're here, does sending more ICE officials to Minneapolis help out the situation in any way? As Kristi Noem, you have a decision to try to figure out, okay, what's the best policy for our country? Because she keeps saying criminal aliens. Like, the point is, when you're going, you're taking migrants away, and some people are feeling harassed at school districts. I saw an interview on News Nation on Sunday where two women that were part of this organization where they whistle to let the community know when ICE officials are near them, started by a school. And they were like, we just wanted to make sure that parents could drop off calmly. We wanted to warn parents, and we're whistling. That's a signal to our community. ICE is here. So if you are a migrant or don't want to be bothered, maybe avoid school that day. And it got so out of hand even now, I don't know if it's still today, but yesterday, Minneapolis schools were closed because they wanted to avoid any parents getting harassed in this line. So when we think about all the ways that we said immigration reform will be possibly beneficial for the people that supported Trump, I don't know that they wanted parents being harassed, dropping their kids off at school. I don't know that they wanted an American citizen, Renee Good, to be killed in the process. I don't know that this was the goal.
No one wants anyone to be killed.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's worth a moment of pause, is my point. It's worth a moment of pause, specifically from Kristi Noem in this moment, to say, let's talk about this. What's our way forward if we still want to honor all the people that voted for us that do want reform, but we realize this has gotten a little chaotic? Surely shutting out local leadership can't be the way forward. Surely sending...
Well, local leadership doesn't want to help.
Well, surely sending more ICE agents in an extremely heightened situation can't be the solution. Maybe it's worth a conversation for everybody to be an adult and figure out what the way forward is. I mean, somebody died.
Yes. What the administration is saying is that, well, you're going to resist us, you're going to fight this, then we're sending in more people. The goal, we are doing deportation. That was what was voted for, and that's what we're going to carry out.
Well, and you have to respond to all the people in the midterms and beyond that, like that are
Joe
Rogan style people that are saying, this is not what we voted for you guys to be running in factories and doing. There's a whole bunch of conversation happening there that's not on the left, because that's conversations that happen regardless. They didn't even want the policies. So for the people that supported reform, like a Joe Rogan, like a Shane Gillis that was on the podcast with him, they're looking at this and saying, what's going on? We didn't want factories to get raided and schools to get people dropping off their kids at schools to get harassed. So then how do you rectify that with the same people that voted for you for the policy? Is it worth all that's happening? You have to answer that question.
Yeah. Law enforcement sometimes doesn't look pretty, and there is a professional class of anti-ICE activists training people who are now following them and recording them, as is their right. They have the right to do that. They have the right to record them. They have the right to follow them. They have the right to circulate information about where they are. That is all First Amendment protected speech. They should not face violence or arrest or detention or anything because of that. But they shouldn't confuse that right, which you do have, with a right to obstruct them, to block the road. You don't have that right. To disobey orders because you think they're illegitimate. They have no legal right to be there, so I don't have to do what they say. None of that is true. That is an attitude that is being taught to these activist-type people, and that is an attitude that will get people killed, that will get people treated violently, and it needs to be forcefully condemned. Not their rights. They have their rights. Right to record, right to protest, all of that, to be clear. But follow police orders. Don't block traffic. Don't drive a car at a police officer. Don't do any of that.
Don't turn your wheel and try to drive away. Because you
Well,
will
don't try to
get
drive-
shot
yes,
in
don't
the
try
head.
to-
Because you will get shot in the head.
Don't try to drive away. That doesn't mean you should be shot in the head, but you can't drive away.
Well, that's the message that we're sending. You will get shot and killed down if you turn away and try to get away. You're a U.S. citizen and you don't want to be bothered by ICE.
But you can't just drive off.
You can't. You can get arrested for that.
Yeah.
Then arrest them.
Yeah.
Don't kill them.
Yeah. Up next, Elon Musk says that he's filing for full custody of his son with Ashley St. Clair, and we'll tell you why. Stay with us.